Okay, so I've had some frequently asked questions, and I figured I would address them here. 1. Has my period stopped since being on testosterone? The answer is I have only been on T for a month and 1 week. So, in reality, I can't really say. Obviously, the cycle is supposed to be every 28 days. Um, I had it like right before I started. Um, but also, I am normally irregular. So I don't know if I just haven't had it because it's irregular or if I haven't had it because of tea. So I don't know why I'm not having it, so I can't really tell you if it's because of the tea or not. Um, Another question is, what is my birth name? And that is one question that I will probably never answer until I end up writing my book and until the book is published. And then you can find out, and then you can go spill it everywhere or whatever. Um, Another question that I get asked a lot is, surprisingly, what genitalia was I born with? Um, if you don't know the female anatomy well enough to answer that question by yourself, then you should probably go look that up, because I am very worried about you. Uh, that should answer that question. Otherwise, again, type it into Google and figure it out on your own. I was born a female. I'm transitioning into a male. That should answer that question. Things do grow. That is another question that I do get asked. Things do grow, and no, they do not grow completely into a penis. It does not grow the size of the penis. It does not look like a penis, but it does grow. It can get like up to 2 inches, if that answers anything. Let's see. Something else. I get asked, does it shrink your chest size? Yes, it can shrink your chest size, but then also it helps to work out. If you work out, it will help your chest size shrink as well. So even before I started testosterone, I was working out, and like last year, and my chest size did drop because of that as well. So even if you're not on T, there are things that you can do to shrink your chest size and stuff like that. Another thing is like cost and stuff like that. People ask me a lot about the cost of surgeries and stuff like that. As far as the cost of me doing my name and gender change, that's something that's going to be vary per state. The name and gender change for me, it cost me $1,300. That was just to get my name legally changed and my gender legally changed in the state of Texas. Like I said, it varies from state to state, and for what attorney you go to. The attorney that I used, her attorney fees were $1,000, and the court costs were right about $300. So around about $1,300, and then of course you have to pay for everything else outside of that, like your birth certificate cost, your driver's license cost, and everything else. Surgery, that's going to vary per doctor that you go to. Top surgery, the one that I'm looking at, is probably about $5,000 to $7,000, depending on which surgery I ended up getting. There's two different types. There is keyhole, and then there is double incision. Keyhole is basically where they make 2 incisions, one on each chest, and they basically essentially suck everything out. All the fatty tissue, the mammary glands, and all that. Just 2 small incisions, and then that's it. Double incision, they make 2 wide incisions underneath here, and you get pretty big scars. You can also do a double incision with a nipple graft. They cut your nipples off, and they move them, and they can resize them also, but they can move them and place them to where they look more like the placement of a guy's chest also. Small chested guys usually are the ones that get keyhole just because it works better for them than bigger chested guys. It usually doesn't work very well. Double incision can be by anybody, from small to big chested guys. I'm probably going to be getting double incision just because I prefer that. I like the results better, and I also would prefer to have a nipple graft just because that's what I prefer. Bottom surgery, I haven't really looked into the cost very much. I know generally a lot of times it costs more than top surgery, but again, it just depends on where you go and all that. And then of course, on top of all that, you're gonna have to pay no matter where you go. Unless you live in the area, you're gonna have to pay for the cost of living there, like hotel expenses, food expenses, traveling expenses, and all that just to get there as well. And like as far as top surgery goes, you usually have to stay there for a little bit because they're gonna have to take the drains out like after a week or so. After that, after you have surgery, so you're either gonna have to stay there or you're gonna have to travel back and go there to get them out. So it gets pretty pricey. Another question that I usually get is sex drive, and yes, the sex drive does change. My sex drive has changed. Even whenever I was doing the natural transition, my sex drive skyrocketed, and it does pretty much get to where it's like you are a little boy going through puberty again. And that's actually a question that I got the other night was, is it like going through puberty again? And yes, it is. It's like you're going through puberty a second time, and it's just as a different gender. Sorry, my cats are fighting. It is like going through puberty again. It's interesting because you get to see like the different perspective of it. You get to see like finally your actual gender perspective of it. So it's a little bit different, but it's interesting, and it's been fun, kind of. Sometimes annoying, but that's, I think, how puberty really normally is. Puberty for me the first time was actually really, really obnoxious and almost detrimental. I wasn't even told what a period was until like the day I had it, and then I thought that something was seriously wrong, and I like freaked out. So it was like really, really bad. And then of course like being transgender and having to go through something that shouldn't be going on in your body, it just sucks, like going through puberty as the gender that you're not supposed to be. So going through puberty as the gender that you're finally supposed to be, it's actually kind of a welcoming thing. It's just weird, like being almost 25. I'll be 25 tomorrow, so it's weird like being 25 and going through puberty again. I actually make jokes about it at work all the time, and it's funny because like there's only a few of my friends that I work with that actually know that I'm transgender, and so they get my jokes, and so they think it's hilarious, and then everybody else doesn't get my jokes, but they laugh because it's awkward if they don't, and I make jokes all the time. I'm like, yeah, whoa, one person the other day was like, man, Skylar, are you sick or something? He's actually blind. He's actually legally blind. He's like, are you sick or something? I was like, no, why? He's like, because your voice is all raspy. And I'm like, no, I'm not sick. And I mean, obviously, I know what's going on. I know my voice is changing because it's he. And he doesn't. And I was like, that's because I'm going through puberty. I'm finally going through puberty. He's like, whatever. I'm like, whatever. I tried to tell you. But I say stuff like that all the time. I'll joke around about it at work, and people think it's hilarious that I actually do know, and then other people just laugh just because it's awkward if they don't. But, anyways, I forgot where I was going with that. Anyways, if you ever have any questions that I don't answer in my blogs or my videos, feel free to message me, email me, however you know how to get in contact with me, and I'll come up with a way to answer them if it's in my blog or if it's in my videos or something. I'll come up with a way to answer them. Just seriously, I don't mind answering questions. Like I said, there's only 2 questions that I won't answer, and that's like, what's between my legs, because, duh, I was born a female. If you can't figure that out, Google it. And then the second one is, what is my birth name? That's just a rude question to ask people. The reason why is because I don't identify with that person's not me, and it's like asking somebody about the most depressing part of their life. So it's just kind of rude, but that's why I don't answer that question. And also because it's just not me. So you can find that out whenever I write a book. That's about the only time. Other than that, anything else is fair game. I'll be brutally honest with you. And that's about it. As long as you're not completely rude. If you're rude, I don't even know. But anyways, peace out.